Hello ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here we are on the Zebucity Talk Radio on a wonderful September 13th, 2012. We are talking PlanetSide 2, first impressions. The game has just come out and it's in beta. The non-disclosure agreement has been lifted and I am with Alfathi and Dracket, both who are taking part in the beta themselves. And if you guys are interested in sharing your opinion, join us on our Ventrilo server. The information is on your screen, and we're going to have a great 1.5 hour with each other, talking games and talking the future. So, hello guys.
Hello, thanks for having us.
What is up, homie?
That's what I like to hear. So, we've been in the beta together. We've flown in Liberators. We've played some, infantry stuff. What do you guys think of the game so far?
I'm going to go ahead and say that I'm thoroughly impressed with it so far. For a beta, it's actually been extremely clean. I've been having more fun playing it than I have been trying to go search for bugs. It's very well-rounded beta. The vehicle flying is clean, smooth. The infantry, again, it's clean and smooth. I find the only thing that I do have a complaint about is the render distance after once targets get so far away from you, they do seem to drop out of your line of sight. The scenery will still be there, but players won't be.
Yeah, I've noticed.
Makes it a little hard to shoot.
What about you, Dracket?
Well, I feel, it's a little... I've only been playing for a couple hours now since I managed to get my beta set up and all that, so it's a little early for me to be making any serious judgments, I feel, but all in all, it's pretty solid gameplay. I've noticed some bugs, as we noticed yesterday, with the whole trying to invite to squad and outfit and all that, if you have the menus up, but again, beta, these are still bugs that have to be worked out.
Yeah, one thing that I am impressed with what they're doing in beta is the patches that they do have. Other than today, the servers went down once they released the latest patch. But they're really implementing, it seems like, the things that I'm reporting in the bug testing.
You are the dev's heart and soul there, Zebucity. They're only fixing bugs you report.
Exactly, that's how we got.
No one else's.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think one of my favorite things about PlanetSide is the vehicle combat and what you can do in the vehicles.
I would definitely like to second that one right there.
Like I said, I've only
Liberators.
flown. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say those Liberators have got to be the funnest thing in any game that I've played in a long time. Like, yeah, you can fly around in a Apache or something in Battlefield or in Arma 2, which is just a killing machine, but when you get in those Liberators, especially if you're got a lot of two-way voice communication between pilots and gunners, it can't go any smoother. It's a blast. No pun intended.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
do you guys notice any similarities between other games? I find that this game is it's almost like a little bit of Tabula Rasa, Warhammer, and Battlefield 3 all kind of mixed together, but dashes of each on this sort of different type of game.
It just feels like one big-ass Battlefield match to me, with much cooler vehicles and more of a sci-fi feel. It's just there's no bound durations. Plays very similar to Battlefield. Even the control layout, it seems almost identical.
Which actually seems to be a couple criticisms from what I've read on the forums. On some of the Battlefield, what am I talking about here? On the PlanetSide forums, there's been a couple posts from people saying it's not nearly as good as the original PlanetSide, but one of those things, I guess they try and fix some stuff, and you're always going to have critics to stuff you want to change.
Absolutely. Well, it's like MMOs in general, right? The people who started playing World of Warcraft with Classic weren't impressed at Burning Crusade, and Burning Crusade people weren't impressed with Lich King, and so on, to the point where you just become more and more disappointed. It almost seems like what you started with is what you prefer to keep. So I don't know. Maybe people that played the PlanetSide 1 aren't. They had so much fun there, and they're trying to learn a new system with PlanetSide 2 that they're not enjoying it as much. I don't know.
Now, that's a very good point, and it's almost as if when you look at PlanetSide and then you look at PlanetSide 2, I think that although the games share the same name, it's a completely different game that they're releasing today for a different type of gamer than there was back when PlanetSide originally released.
Well, when was the original PlanetSide released?
You're asking the wrong man. However, I do have access to the internet, so let's go on a little adventure here, unless you guys want to look it up.
I'm going to try and quickly look it up myself, because I'm a little curious about that myself. Doo-doo.
The original PlanetSide, according to enwiki.org, released on May 20th, 2003. To date, apparently PlanetSide 1 remains one of the few MMO FPS games ever created. So the fact that it's survived this long and that they're making a sequel, that probably speaks volumes to the game.
Couldn't you say, though, like, if you want to try and make a game that's, 2003 to 2012 is 9 years. If as a PlanetSide original player, you're wanting essentially a PlanetSide 2 with PlanetSide mechanics and just a rewrap of graphics, that's probably not what you're going to get in PlanetSide 2. It seems that it's a completely different game, and one of the main problems that I've read on the forums is that there is no real camaraderie or strategic attacks on bases, and base fights are no longer these long epic battles. Although they seem that to me, they seem to be lacking that.
Yes, but the community is still building. Like, it's still in a closed beta, so managing to get a beta key when you don't have to pay for it is kind of difficult. So once it actually fully releases, I think you actually will start to see a lot more of that kind of aspect of the game start to seep through, or seep back into the game.
Well, just looking at the three of us, I mean, I didn't play PlanetSide 1. I don't think you guys did either, if I'm not mistaken.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, see, so I would imagine there's a ton of people in our shoes as well. Maybe a few of the people listening in, all four of them, might be in the same boat where they haven't played PlanetSide 1, but they're now playing PlanetSide 2, and that's something that I think as time goes on, as the community builds up, more people get involved, you'll start to see more coordination.
Well, wasn't it you were telling me that there was like an entire armada of tanks, and there was also the enemies had 6 liberators all lined up in a row doing bombing runs like that?
Yeah, I've seen it once actually. I'll talk about the tanks actually, because that was probably my favorite out of the two, because I was on the receiving, or sorry, I was not on the receiving end of that one.
Oh boy, that's different.
Yeah, I know. Eh? Yeah, I'm really holding up the 1-14 record like a champ. But yeah, we were at the Warp Gate, and I was with one of the other members from CKS, Mr. Negative, and we were gonna fly out in a Liberator, and I noticed that there were at least a dozen tanks waiting at the road outside of a Warp Gate. So we both went and grabbed tanks, and we got in line. I think by the time we took off, or left, I should say, so used to flying. By the time we actually rode out, I would say we had at least 2 dozen, if not 3 dozen tanks, and we did have a few air vehicles kind of flying in ahead of us. So it was very coordinated, and it was being done through game chat for locations that we were hitting next, and we did manage to clean sweep ourselves from almost being pushed back to our nexus. Hopefully you'll see more of that when the game actually releases.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I just hope that the game doesn't become like where does it go from here really? Like can you really play Liberator flying for that amount of time, or are they going to be implementing something else where it's not just taking bases, and for what reason are you taking bases?
That's the people that played 9 years of PlanetSide 1.
But is PlanetSide 2 going to be like PlanetSide 1? Maybe they're just trying to make this game where you log in and you shoot people like Battlefield 3.
I could see them. Go ahead.
No, it's all good. I was just gonna flap my lips.
I was gonna say I have the strange suspicion that they're going to start aiming for well, obviously a different kind of crowd and more away from the MMO crew and more towards people who are generally fans of shooters and want only a little bit of this kind of MMO style experience where there is a consistency with the world.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's where part of the character progression comes in as well with the points and upgrading your vehicles. But there will come a point where you'll cap out the things that you play the majority with the majority of your time. If all you do is play as a recon sniper and you drive around in the lightning, it's not going to take you very long to cap out the lightning and sniper, and I think what do you do after that would be the next question.
So on the topic of sort of buying into PlanetSide 2, Draketh and I have both become alpha members, and Alfathy, you're still holding out because you don't know whether or not the station cash is really worth it.
I would like the guns that you get out of it. I mean, the station cash could be used to purchase gun upgrades on your vehicles that can also be purchased in the game. It's just a matter of whether or not I want to use my in-game currency or my real currency that I go to work for. It's either way, you'll get the ones you want. It's just, do you want them earlier or do you want them later? I will say on that though, according to Sony, the station cash is $40 for 4,000 points, and that's what they're charging for this package. So if you haven't gotten in on the beta yet, it would be a pretty sweet deal if it was a game you actually wanted to play to get Alpha Squad. And there's other things you get, some camos, I think a couple skins for your vehicles, or they match your character or something, I'm not sure. And you do get a title, and 10% increase in experience and money would be the best way to explain it for the first 6 months. So all that stuff's in addition to paying dollar for dollar what you would for the station cash anyway. So I'm talking about it like it's great, but I'm still holding out.
Yeah. I don't know. It just seems that it's an amazing fun game, and I really like playing it. And it really only seems to be a lot of fun when you're in a group of people talking with them, able to play as a squad. Whereas Battlefield, I can go in and I can just play it. Do you think that this may be something that could be a hurdle for Sony in the future? Let's go with Draketh. I haven't heard from you in a while.
Sorry, what do you mean by that? I was kind of zoning out there for a minute.
Well, what I mean
was reading a webpage, I'm not gonna lie.
That's okay. We're just chilling and having a talk and letting other people know what we think. It's almost like a live forum where you can come and QQ or pew pew. But I just want to know if you don't. I don't know if you've tried this yet. If you've actually gone into the game and tried to play it by yourself with no one from CKS. If you have.
Oh yeah, I've done that a few times actually, and maybe it's because that feels like it's the only way I've really played over the past week, since I've only had a couple days to try and play with it. It's not nearly as friendly if you're not coordinating with people.
Yeah, it is unforgiving, but that's where the community kind of comes back into it, right? You can only play so long by yourself, and eventually you're going to match up with a group of people, and you'll join in with them. Or you'll just, I don't know, keep playing alone, and eventually quit. So my advice to anyone getting
rage quit,
PlanetSide
which is the third option.
Yeah, rage quitting for sure, eh?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm on monitor number 4. Yeah. Alright, well, at least I didn't Morningstar a mouse into a wall once upon a time.
That's why you gotta, yeah, you know, that's why you gotta have your wireless stuff and then your wired stuff. There was actually a guy.
Some's for breaking, some's for playing.
There's actually a guy at NCIX. I was talking to him, and it was actually the guy who helped me. And like, I'm always gonna go back to that store now, just because. But he was telling me he's got a Mamba mouse, he's got a Naga mouse, and he uses multiple different mice for different games that he's playing. And I've only ever used one mouse.
Yeah, that seems a little ridiculous to me, but then again, he is working in a store where they kind of provide that stuff.
It's like people that have more than one pair of underwear. I just don't understand.
Lol.
Oh boy, I'm sure glad we're not talking face to face.
Yeah. But I do have some information here maybe to answer future plans for what Sony's going to do with PlanetSide 2. Apparently for PlanetSide 1, after its release, what did I say again? It was 2003, early 2003. In October, they released an expansion called Core Combat, and according to Wiki here, it's the only true expansion for PlanetSide 2. It included some underground zones, additional weapons and vehicles that could be used by all teams and factions. They also included a head-to-head urban-style combat for subterranean cities. That's actually really cool. Adding underground or water to PlanetSide 2 at some point would be fantastic.
That'd be really cool. That's what Arma's doing.
Oh
in
yeah.
3.
Yeah, they had everything but the water, and that was that's really going to help, I think. They added on with the bending in 2004. They added some other planets that were smaller planets scattered throughout the cosmos, and they were linked to your original warp gate, so you could actually warp to other planets.
That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's what I'm also interested in. Is not, sorry to interrupt you, but on the topic of using the warp gate and going to different planets. We've only been on the one planet, Inkar, and I'm really interested to know how, if they're going to be basing it off the original PlanetSide, how you're going to be using these different continents. Is it just going to spread all the players out, or is there some purpose or reason as to why you would fight on Inkar, or why you would go fight on, you know, next map that they release?
Good question. They could be for resources, or it could just be to keep the content fresh. You can always add in new vehicles that, or certain items that require specialty points that you can only earn from controlling the new continent. And that would give your team reason to control that continent, but it could still be based on minerals or resources from the previous continents, just to keep players in both realms.
Yeah, see them doing something like that.
Yeah, I mean, if not, it doesn't matter. I mean, when you look at Battlefield 3, there's a lot of people that still play the vanilla version of Battlefield, or they don't have premium or any expansions. By the way, if anyone's listening who's in that boat, please go get premium now. It's fantastic. Use.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but the new content does seem to do better than the older content, at least for Battlefield. It seems to be what a large group of people tend to flock towards. So I could see PlanetSide 2 being no different. New content will potentially drain out lower zones, but let's face it, the game's, as it stands right now, free. So there's no reason not to play the new content.
No. What was the one thing that you were going to say before, just before there, we started talking about the other continents?
Oh. Yeah, PlanetSide 1, they had the bending, which we talked about. That was all those weird planets. And then they had, after that came Aftershock. And that was also in 2004. And it looks like they added a new core combat system, and it allowed for battle frame robotics, aka BFRs, according to PlanetSide 1, which were large, heavily armed walking vehicles similar to those found in BattleTech. To me, that sounds a bit like the Max, although I'm not sure if they actually were. Yeah, although I'm not sure if they were like AT-AT walkers or something from Star Wars. That would be interesting.
You remember?
Rocking an AT-AT in PlanetSide 2 would be boss.
They actually, I don't know if either of you remember this, Tabula Rasa, just before it got closed down, I think it was sometime in February, they actually released mechs. And for those who are listening who don't know what Tabula Rasa is, it was a third-person shooter, and the reticle had some help. It would skip over to the person, but you would have these bases. And there would be, say, 5 bases on a map, and there was teleportation within the bases, so you could hop around each base. There was not a lot of running time, which was really nice. The PvE was great, and each base could come under attack at any time from hordes of aliens being dropped in these ships. And right at the end, you were able to get into a mech outfit, which was by far one of the coolest things. Do you remember that, Alfadi?
No, I actually, once I heard it was getting cancelled after I was done crying, I uninstalled it. I didn't want to play any of the new content, because for me, the game actually ended on such a high note that I didn't want to try any new stuff with it. So, but yeah, I remember the mechs.
All right, so what I got here going on to our screen is the patch notes for today, and one of the things that I've noticed, no longer will Max be available for respawn. Players can now access an equipment terminal to use the Max, so you can no longer spawn as a Max. Now, is that because they were overpowered, or is that because what? Why do you think they did that?
That's because Sony hates you.
I will say, when you're trying to take a point and you're stuck inside a biodome and the entire other team starts spawning as Max with twin-link chain guns or twin-link shotguns, it's incredibly painful to try to get around that spawn point. Not that it would matter.
You're cutting in and out there, Alfadi.
Are panels in there where they could switch to a Max anyway. Most of the places that you can spawn, you can then go and switch to a Max. Sorry there, I was saying that the Maxes that...
I think we lost you again.
Yay, technical difficulty.
Yeah, it looks like he's still talking, it's not connecting in. Oh, it looks like he dropped. Okay. Now there's 2 of you in here.
I'm back. Yeah, go for me. I don't know. Okay, I'll keep it short and sweet. What I was saying before is anywhere players can spawn, there's usually a panel where they can switch their class or rearm. So the fact that someone can't spawn as a Max, but they can turn around, walk 3 feet, and equip a Max, it just seems a little silly.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Well, yeah, I can see why they did it, for exactly the reasons you illustrated, with that whole they're starting to spawn just outside your biodome that you're defending. So that way it makes it a little more fair.
Well, Alfadi, you still there? Hughes, you still there?
I think I... Psych! Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah. Well, I noticed that one of the things I haven't ever really fallen through.
I'm
on
having
my
some
spawns.
technical issues here.
Yeah, we're just talking about. You remember there was a couple of weeks there where you would drop through the map because it wasn't loading the textures when you spawned.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. Well, we got about a minute left, and on our very first broadcast here at Zebucity Talk Radio, and we were talking about PlanetSide, and we had Alphathi and Drakathon, and yeah, thank you all for joining. We're going to be playing. Any last words, guys, before we play a little video for our fans out there?
Keep on gaming.
And Alphathi? Alphathi has once again.
Oh, is he cutting?
Yeah, he's talking, but you just can't hear him.
Maybe I'll have
I
to
want to
play
say
around
keep
with the
on
vent.
listening to me talk because I'm frickin' awesome. Yeah, keep tuning back in here.
Yeah, and we're gonna be here.
Yeah.
We're gonna.
I was going to say that I hope everyone comes back and continues listening.
Yeah, and this will be up on YouTube and our little spot down here. And thanks for joining, guys, and listening in on PlanetSide. Thank you to Alphathi and Hughes for being on the show.
No problem.
Thanks for having me.
And as you know, we are all members of the CKS gaming community, and this is a little send-up video that you guys get to watch at the end.
Are you tired of playing alone? Maybe bored of playing MMOs without any...
Let's get your ugly face out of there. Check out some recruitment.
Are you tired of playing alone? Maybe bored of playing MMOs without any guild or community? Or just wish to experience the greatness of games with fellow teammates and online friends? Well, then this video might be just for you. Hey everyone, Mean Machine here. You might be wondering why I'm drawn as a stick figure. Well, truth is, I feel damn lazy today, so you'll just have to deal with it, even though I look like every single stick figure in this video.
You mad, bro?
I'm here today to talk about an awesome community known as CKS. Now, even though I've been a part of CKS for only about 6 months, I gotta tell you, it's fantastic. We have members from all over the world, and so far playing with them has been a great experience and enjoyment. Now, CKS has been a community for a long time. Our history stretches as far back as Black Hawk Down, for you people familiar with it. With that said, we have evolved and taken part in many big games. With you being a member, you'll have access to TeamSpeak, where you can join different lobbies and groups depending on what games you like to play. Some of our big games we are part of now are Star Wars: The Old Republic, World of Warcraft, Arma 2: DayZ, League of Legends, Battlefield 3, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, and of course Guild Wars 2. Which is, by the way, my favorite game. Remember to take a note of that, because it's fucking important. Now, for you to feel that you're actually part of a big community, we also have a website where you can post CKS related stuff, talk to the other members, and just share epic stuff going on in games and such. We're always on the lookout for more members to recruit. You can also donate some money to CKS to help out with the server cost and TeamSpeak, but we all know none does that, right? No, I guess it's just me. So, if you're interested in being part of something bigger, apply at www.cks-gaming.co.uk. Thanks for watching, guys, and hope to see you in game. Oh, and be sure to subscribe, like, and favorite for more content that's coming out soon. Mean Machine